Man is condemned to be free, because once thrown into the world, he is responsible for everything he does. Jean-Paul Sartre. Think about that for a moment. Freedom sounds beautiful, yet Sartre tells us it is also a kind of burden. We are free, but nobody is coming to tell us how to live, how to act, or how to be. And here's the radical twist. Nobody actually cares as much about your failures, your flaws, or your mistakes as you imagine they do. That truth, though painful at first, is the very thing that can set you free. Before we dive deeper, if you find meaning in ideas like this, make sure to like this video and subscribe my channel Psyche Glimpse. It's a small gesture, but it keeps this channel alive and allows us to explore philosophy and psychology together. The illusion of constant judgment. We grow up believing the world is watching us. We walk into a room and think every eye is analyzing what we wear, how we speak, and whether we look good enough. In reality, people are far too absorbed in their own worries to spend that much time on us. Think back. When was the last time you remembered someone else's awkward moment from months ago? You probably forgot within minutes. Yet when you stumble, you replay it endlessly. This is what psychologists call the spotlight effect. The false belief that the world is constantly noticing us. The liberating truth is this: people's attention flickers quickly. The moment passes and they move on. Once you grasp this, you realize most of your anxiety is based on illusions, not reality. Why we fear judgment. People don't care as much as we think. Why do we still feel so judged? Evolution offers a clue. For most of human history, survival depended on belonging to a tribe. Rejection could mean isolation, and isolation could mean death. That fear is still wired into us. When you feel anxious about being laughed at, you're not weak, you're experiencing ancient programming. But here's the catch: the modern world is not the prehistoric savannah. You won't starve because a stranger rolled their eyes at you. You won't be cast out of society because you said something awkward at a party. Sartre pushes us further. Our fear of judgment is also a way of hiding from freedom. As long as we obsess over what they think, we avoid facing the terrifying reality that our choices belong to us alone. Sartre's idea of the look. Sartre describes something fascinating: the power of another person's gaze. When someone looks at us, we suddenly feel turned into an object, frozen in their perception. You spill coffee on your shirt at a cafe, and the moment someone notices, shame burns in your chest. You feel exposed. But Sartre also reminds us, that feeling only has power if we give it power. The gaze of the other is unavoidable, yes, but it doesn't define us. Their momentary judgment is not your identity. The truth is, the world moves on, and you remain free to define yourself. Nobody cares, and that's good news. Here's the paradox. The very thing we fear, that people don't really care about us, is actually our greatest liberation. If nobody is keeping a detailed record of your failures, then you are free to experiment, to take risks, to grow. The next time you hesitate to speak up in a meeting or to share your art online, remind yourself, nobody is waiting to ridicule you. And if someone does laugh, their life continues, and so does yours. Your freedom is bigger than their momentary reaction. The trap of living for others. Many of us live our lives like unpaid actors in someone else's play. We choose careers to impress our parents, buy things to impress our neighbors, and post online to impress strangers. But when the curtain falls, none of those others carry the weight of our choices. Sartre insists, you cannot hand over responsibility for your life. Even choosing to conform is still your choice. And with that realization comes a terrifying but beautiful freedom. No one else is in charge. No one else is responsible. Saw you. That might scare you. But think of the alternative. Would you really want every detail of your life dictated by others? Freedom is frightening, but it is also the only path to authenticity. Living authentically. So, what does it mean to live authentically? It means making choices aligned with your own values, not simply performing for an imagined audience. It means creating your own meaning in a world that offers none ready-made. Authenticity is messy. You'll make mistakes. You'll face criticism. But every stumble belongs to you, not to a crowd that barely remembers your name. Living authentically doesn't mean rejecting others entirely. It means engaging with them honestly without disguising yourself for approval. That honesty is rare and it's powerful. Modern life and the Sartrean lesson. Scroll through social media, and you'll see millions of people performing for invisible judges, carefully curating their lives for likes, views, and fleeting validation. The irony is that most viewers are scrolling absent-mindedly, half-distracted, barely registering what they see. We imagine an audience that is scrutinizing us. But in truth, they are just as insecure, just as distracted, just as worried about themselves. Nobody is keeping track of your every move. That realization should be the gateway to peace. Freedom as responsibility. If nobody cares, then it's up to you. And that's where Sartre's most radical point emerges. Freedom is not just a privilege, it's a responsibility. You are free, but that means your choices carry weight. You can't blame society, fate, or what people think. The hard truth, if your life feels empty, it's not because others failed to approve of you. It's because you haven't yet chosen your own meaning. And that's both the burden and the gift of existence. How to apply this lesson in daily life. When you wake up tomorrow, remind yourself, nobody is scripting your day for you. You decide. That realization should feel heavy but also exhilarating. Practical steps. Speak honestly in conversations even if your voice shakes. Pursue projects that genuinely excite you, not just ones that look impressive on paper. Accept mistakes as proof that you're living, not evidence that you're failing. With each action you claim your freedom. With each choice you write your own story. Sartre leaves us with a haunting but empowering message. Man is nothing else but what he makes of himself. Nobody cares as much as you think. Nobody is watching as closely as you fear. And that's the greatest gift of all. Because it means you are free, free to try, free to fail, free to grow, and free to live authentically. So stop worrying so much about nothing. Start embracing the everything that lies within your freedom. And remember this, the moment you realize nobody cares, is the moment you can finally start living.